I can't believe they want us to go outside the house to find Vea. You look like the traveling sort. In your excursions, have you perchance come upon a young dark elf named Vea? She went missing a couple of weeks ago and her father desperately seeks any information regarding her whereabouts. That's a shame. Her father, Eris, the house counselor here in Balmora, promises that anyone who can find his daughter and return her safely to his side will be well rewarded. You should speak to Counselor Eris. He's opened the kin house to interview potential recruits. Freelancers, as it were. If you're interested, go speak to the counselor. The longer Vea remains missing, the more distressed Counselor Eris becomes. Counselor Eris can be found at the Redarin kin house, and do hurry. He's ever so troubled by our failure to locate young Vea. If he finds that an outsider can succeed where the house guard has failed, so be it. I have no issue with Counselor Eris seeking help. It's where he's decided to get that help that concerns me. House Redarin doesn't need outsiders to take care of its business. But who am I to question a house counselor? How can anyone not know about House Redarin? Is this some sort of Outlander ruse? Well, in that case, Redarin is the grandest of the great Dunmer houses. We champion the virtues of duty and piety, and we have a proud military tradition. Our house comes first in all things. I don't understand why Eris seeks outside help. If I knew what happened to the Counselor's daughter, I wouldn't be talking to you now, would I? As far as we can tell, she left of her own accord. There wasn't any foul play involved that we're aware of. Beyond that, you'd have to ask the Counselor. Counselor Eris Relith oversees Redarin operations in Balmora and the surrounding countryside. He's very influential, very powerful. Usually, the Counselor doesn't allow his passions to get the better of him. But Vea is his daughter, after all.
Welcome to Balmora, Outlander. House Redarin governs this town and asks all citizens and visitors alike to abide by its laws and regulations. We brook no trouble, especially from those who espouse different beliefs and traditions. Important? I suppose that depends upon who you ask. My husband thinks so. I'm the treasurer here in Balmora. My job requires that I record all important transactions regarding Redarin finances and balance everything to the last gold piece. Counselor Eris, who oversees Redarin operations in the Balmora region. Our family is one of the most respected in the house. I'm surprised you haven't heard of us, wherever it is you come from. Now, if you don't mind, I have a lot of work to do. You must be one of the freelancers my husband sent for. You really should speak with him if you're here about our daughter. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really am quite busy.
Yes? Is there something I can do for you, Outlander? My daughter has been gone too long, and the house guard can't seem to find a wall in the corner. But why should I trust you with this task? Tell me, Outlander, how can you succeed when my forces continue to fail time and time again? An interesting insight. Perhaps you can find my daughter. Vea can handle herself, but the father worries, you understand? Anyway, I agree with your assessment. That's why I'm willing to bring in outside help on this. Vea fled after a family disagreement. She's run away before, but I'm concerned that she might have something more permanent in mind this time, and more dangerous. Vea knows how to evade the house guard. But as you said, she doesn't know you. Captain Briven oversees the house's attempt to locate my daughter. You should speak to him and see what his investigation has already turned up. He's probably patrolling the town square at this time of day. Briven's soldiers have been trying to get information out of Vea's friends, but those young men and women are almost as good at avoiding the house guard as my daughter. That is a private matter. If your investigation proves fruitful, and such matters become relevant, we can discuss the particulars then, but not before. Like my daughter, my wife has a mind of her own. What the two of you discuss is your own affair. Just understand that I haven't employed you to solve my family's problems. I only need you to find my daughter. Vea has always been fascinated by the Morag Tong. Even admired one of their agents when she was growing up. It's possible she sought refuge with this agent, or even decided to join the organization. Though I hope I'm wrong about that. The Morag Tong? They're an ancient guild of assassins sanctioned by the tribunal to carry out honorable writs of execution. Ostensibly, they're supposed to keep the houses from resorting to all-out war, but I still find the practice barbaric. Someone of no consequence, and not at all important to accomplishing your mission. Besides, you don't find Morag Tong agents, they find you. Just pray it's not because your name wound up on one of their writs. That is a death sentence.
Not now, Outlander. If you need some sort of assistance, go find one of the House Guard. You must be one of the freelancers the Councilor employed to supplement the duties of the House Guard. Very well. I'll tell you what I know. Vea ran away. Again. I hope you can succeed when my troops have failed. If anything happens to Vea... I've known the Relith family since I was a child. Vea is like a sister to me, and I'll do everything in my power to get her home safe and sound. Even trust an Outlander. We think her friends may know where she is, but they keep eluding us. Perhaps. As long as you don't get too close. They've been running notes of late. I think it has something to do with Vea, but the runners keep evading my guards. Look for a group meeting on the other side of town, and see if you can follow the note. When you find Vea's friends, remember to keep your distance. You just want to spot the note carrier and follow him to whoever's receiving these messages. That's the key to locating Vea. If you can't do it, don't worry. The house can handle it. Vea's a born warrior. Hard-headed, stubborn, a real pain in the ass. She can fight like an angry netch, though. I keep trying to get her to join the militia, and she always turns me down. That's not my tale to tell. If Councilor Eris or his wife won't speak of the troubles his family has had to deal with in recent weeks, maybe you can ask Vea. If and when you find her. We started to notice groups of young dark elves gathering in out-of-the-way parts of the city. One of my guards saw them pass a note between them, but they split up and she lost them in the back alleys. Could be a love poem or a recipe for Kwama cream cocktail. But we suspect it's the way Vea has been keeping tabs on what's been happening in the city. Look, it may amount to nothing, but the note could give us a lead on where to find Vea.
Get this letter to Drevis. It's important. Just don't let House Redoran get their hands on it. If you think you're being followed, find a place to hide. Good luck. Well done. This should help us determine what happened to Vea's brother. Hello, can I help you? Wait a moment. You're one of those hirelings House Redoran pays to harass us simple folk. Look, all Vea wants to do is to find out what happened to her brother. Too bad the house doesn't seem to care a swit about any of that. Vea wants nothing to do with the house or her father. Why can't any of you respect that? Even if I wanted to help, I haven't seen Vea since she snuck out of town. We communicate by notes, and this one isn't even about her. Well, if you must know, it concerns Vea's brother. He was an officer in the House Guard before he vanished without a trace. We've been trying to help Vea find him. A local tough, goes by the name of Ashur. He delivers the letters. We usually meet him outside of town to the northeast. But good luck trying to get any information out of him. Ashur is not known for his conversational skills. I think we're done here, don't you? I told you where to find Ashur. He's been passing our notes on to Vea. Just to the north and east, outside of town. Or is this your way of offering to save me a trip, since you're headed his way? Balmora's not that big. Most of the sons and daughters of the house leaders and prominent merchants know each other. Vea's one of us, and we'll do whatever it takes to help her find her brother. Well, within reason. And Vea would do the same for us. That's why we're helping her. She really is a terrific person. I'm not telling you anything, you Redoran lapdog. Sorry about that. I'm kind of on edge, if you hadn't noticed. Everyone knows Vea's brother. Or they did, before he disappeared. Ulran was an exemplary officer. Everything House Redoran could hope for. Vea won't rest until she learns the truth. She ran away because her father refused to give her a straight answer. She suspects he was involved in Ulran's disappearance. Or that he at least knows more than he's willing to say. Is it any wonder Vea decided to take matters into her own hands? You think I'm just going to tell you all our secrets, Outlander? Well, that's not going to happen. I won't betray Vea. All right. No need to get violent. Vea doesn't want her father to find her until she's located her brother, so we help protect her. That's why we set up the runners. Let the Councilor's hounds chase us, while Vea looks for Ulran. I'm sure Councillor Eris's intentions are good. He loves his daughter. Wants her back safe and sound. But what about what Vea wants? Her brother home safe, her father's honesty, the house looking out for its people and not just its precious honor?
You killed one of my gang, Swit. No writ will protect you from us.
Feeling left out? I'm sure I can procure a writ for each of you.
That's it! Kill the Morag Tong and any witnesses!
I'll just take my
Heal
leave.
me!
No use getting my axes bloody again.
Never used to fight this much, until I met you.
I had that situation under control. Just needed them to make the first hostile move. Still, I cleaned enough blood off my axes for one day, so thanks for lending a hand. You were you? Was it Melissa? I told her I'd close out my tab after I completed another contract. That woman has the patience of an anxious nix. Well, tell her I'm good for it. I'll stop by and we can conclude our business cordially. Vea? The new apprentice? Now why in oblivion do you care about Vea? Are you now? And why do you want to do that? Never mind, I don't really care. I was asked to pass along some notes, but I'm not really the messenger type. I suggest you talk to Vea's mentor. Last I heard, she had a job in the Western Ruins. Make sure you don't anger Vea's mentor, or even look at her the wrong way. She's grown surprisingly protective of that young woman, and if she thinks you pose a danger... Besides, I'd hate to see you wind up on the wrong end of one of our writs. You know, the usual buyer's remorse. I see a lot of that in my line of work. Turns out, I had to kill a bad man who did bad things. The writ was legal and above board. Unfortunately, his brother didn't see it that way and was looking for revenge. Oh, you make it sound so obscene. Still, that's pretty much an accurate description. But it's not like I work for the Dark Brotherhood or anything. I don't kill anyone without a sanctioned writ. Keeps the great houses in line. It's a calling. I'd rather not. She's particular about her secrets, and I don't want to get on a bad side. You should keep that in mind too if you plan to continue on this course. Vea's mentor usually sticks to the rules, but I wouldn't turn my back on her.
Leave me, Outlander. Let me die in the shame I've brought to Malakath. Defeated by a lone warrior. Malakath will laugh at our incompetence. An assassin. Probably a Morag tongue. She tracked our leader here. But she doesn't know. We set a trap inside the ruins. Oh.
She's just one woman! Get inside the ruins and stop her!
Well, you're not what I expected to find in a place like this. You have a habit of turning up at the most unusual moments, don't you, hero? Questions? I don't have time for questions. I have a writ to complete. Look, I can't keep these evil cultists waiting. You want to talk? Find me after I finish this job. Hero, we really need to stop meeting like this. Excuse me, Hero. I have to see an orc about a writ.
Don't kill me! I didn't mean to interfere with House Tolvani's plans. I made a mistake.
A mistake? Well, that explains everything. I'll just let the Tolvani know. I'm sure Mage Valen will understand.
Oh, that's a relief. I thought for sure you were going to kill me.
I am. I hate when my leathers get wet. And this is a new outfit, too. Ah, well. I suppose we ought to discuss what you're doing here. I have to admit, when I saw you, I thought, what the tusk are you doing down here? Pardon my orcish. Did you really follow me across the continent? That shows commitment. Kind of creepy, but still a lot of commitment. Well, that's not what I expected. But you can just turn around and leave. You're not going to find her. Vea's going through a difficult time right now. And the last thing she needs is some House Redoran lackey adding to her pain and confusion. I know you, hero. It's old man Eris I don't trust. He didn't tell you about Vea's brother, did he? How House Redoran exiled their favorite son. No? I didn't think so. Vea deserves answers, and I promise to help her. You need to just walk away. Outsiders? Is her father really that desperate? Look, tell Eris that Vea's safe and you'll see her soon, but no more outsiders. If my organization gets skittish, they'll return to the shadows and take Vea with them. We'll only deal with you. Well, it's not exactly a lie, and I don't want things to get out of hand. I'll arrange a meeting, provided Vea agrees. You let Eris know she's safe. Get him to stop hiring freelancers before someone gets hurt. I'll send word when we're ready. Ah, were you imagining a hot bath, a bottle of wine, and a secluded cottage with a roaring fire? Me too. Instead, we're up to our armpits in the usual muck and mire, just like old times. All this, and things are looking up for my organization, too. I suppose if you're in for a sliver, you might as well be in for the log. I'm with the Morrowind Tong, and what you witnessed was a legal murder. According to my writ, the orc had to die. So, I killed him. Now, if you don't mind, I need to get back to Vea. Vea and I have a history. Her brother, too. They were good kids. Liked to watch me train. Now I feel responsible for her. When she came to me looking for help and asked to join the Morrowind Tong, who was I to refuse? That was her decision, not mine. Vea's good with a blade and tracks like a Nord Ranger. She's a natural at this, and it gives me a chance to keep an eye on her. So now I'm her mentor and she's my apprentice. I wouldn't have it any other way. That was poetry in motion. Not only is my organization getting choice assignments again, but we're starting to recover some of our prestige. Specifically, these Malakath cultists interfered with House Telvanni, so they had to be dealt with. Oh, him? No one special. Just the leader of this particular band of mad cultists. His name was on the writ, so I had to end him. It's what I do, after all, and I do it so well.
If you learned anything relating to the whereabouts of my daughter, please talk to my husband. He's been anxiously awaiting your return.
I'm surprised to see you back here, but I'm also relieved. Does this mean you have news about my daughter? Is she safe? Is she ready to come home? Vea joined that cult of assassins? I was afraid she'd do something rash. What was she thinking? I don't see the Morrowind Tong as safe, but at least she's still alive, so I suppose that's something. When are we going to meet with my daughter? She won't meet with me? No, I suppose she's not ready for that quite yet. As for Vea's brother, that was all the doing of the Redoran Council. I'm not allowed to discuss the details, but he's still alive, if that's what Vea is worried about. Naryu's back in town? She's as stubborn as Vea. Very well. No other outsiders. Although I can't dismiss the mercenaries that Captain Briven employs. House Redoran is my life, as is Vea. I'll do everything in my power to see her home safely. As you say, no other outsiders. But there are rules, Outlander. I must do everything within reason to maintain the honor of House Redoran. Here, your first payment. Soon, however, I'll expect more than just a verbal confirmation of Vea's safety. When next you see her, tell my daughter that I want to talk to her. Vea can set the terms, but I expect her to stop running away when things don't go her way. Vea has always felt shackled by the rules of House Redoran, hobbled by the many duties and obligations it presses upon its subjects. After the situation involving her brother, she decided she wanted nothing more to do with the house, or with me. That may be an oversimplification, but I suppose your statement is accurate. I walk a narrow path between House Counselor and loving father. Unfortunately, the former often supersedes the latter. That's why I want to speak to Vea again.
My husband has more faith than I do. I fear that despite your best efforts, Vea will refuse to meet with him, let alone return home. Still, I appreciate your work on our behalf. You agreed to work for my husband, Councillor Eris of House Redoran. We want you to find our daughter Vea and make sure she returns home. During your first excursion, you discovered that Vea had joined Nariu Virion and the Morag Tong. A cult of sanctioned murderers for hire. They serve a purpose, but I have no use for them. Nariu said she wouldn't allow a meeting unless Eris dismissed his hired help. All but you, that is. I just want Vea to come home. I miss my daughter.
Well, look at that. Nariu said I'd find you here, and damn it all if she wasn't right. Did I mention how much I hate being a messenger? Makes me wish I had a writ so I could kill something. Anyway, Nariu wants to talk to you. Said you'd know what it was all about. Here. This should explain everything, sort of. It's a map. We change locations every other day for security reasons, just in case it falls into the hands of House Redoran or someone else with an axe to grind with our organization. Never had to use a map before. Amateurs. This one leads to a key to one of our safe houses, and another map. The first map, it depicts a particular town, kind of like this one. Hint, hint. The rest? Well, you'll have to figure that out on your own. Look, I know you're helping Councillor Eris, but if that map falls into House Redoran hands, I'll probably have to kill you. Nothing personal, mind you. We're already having a bit of trouble with the house, and we'd rather not make matters worse. What are you implying? Can't a person do something nice to help out an ally every now and again? Oh, who am I kidding? I hate playing the messenger. Haven't you ever done something you hate because it was the right thing to do? Then you understand what I'm talking about. Being noble. Doing the honorable thing. It can be a real pain in the arse, but a favor given becomes a favor returned. Eventually. Well, look at you. You're a practical genius. Look, Nariu seems to trust you, so I suppose I have to trust you too. But that's a powerful secret you've been given. Betray us, and you'll find my blade in your back. Unless Nariu kills you first. The Morag Tong has the authority to accept and carry out writs of execution. We keep the great houses from engaging in all-out war, but they rarely appreciate the work we do on their behalf. House Redoran in particular wants to shut us down. The other houses have used us to take Redoran down a peg or two of late. To be frank, for all their vaunted honor, the house cries foul whenever someone gets the better of them. Our status is tenuous enough without Redoran's constant harassment. As I understand it, the Morag Tong made mistakes in the past, grew too arrogant. We had to lay low for more than a century. Now, we're taking select contracts, working to re-establish our reputation. It's not our fault most of them concern Redoran.
if you just listen.
Take care of yourself, Father. You always were good at that.
Sorry about all the subterfuge, but we can't be too careful when it comes to security around here. Don't be so eager, my darling. It reveals too much about your ultimate intentions. But yes, Vea would very much like to meet with you. You intrigue her, and your connection to her father could prove beneficial once she knows she can trust you. Redarin records. House officials keep track of everything. Incidents, commendations, births and deaths, whether important or mundane, they detail it all in their registry. Vea believes the registry contains information about her brother Ulron. Don't sound so offended. You had to know your hands were going to get dirty eventually. You are dealing with assassins and politicians, after all. The local keeper of records, Lord Drono, is away, so security at his townhouse should be light. You can find Lord Drono's townhouse right here in Balmora. He's away on business, but that doesn't mean you don't have to be careful. Just get in, get the registry, and get back out again. I'll be here, anxiously awaiting your return. Still alive, I see. And since you're here, that means you weren't captured and hauled off to a Redarin dungeon. Good for you. Were you able to acquire the registry? And does it contain any information about Vea's brother Ulron? Ulron was exiled? That can't be right. He's an exemplary officer and a good man. Plus, he's the son of a councillor. Why in oblivion would House Redarin banish one of their brightest stars? I can see that. There has to be more to the story, but I'm not sure how we get it. Still, you proved you could be trusted, and you admirably performed this task. So I suppose I should let you meet with Vea now. There's an abandoned cave along the coast. It's in the swamp and smells like rot, which makes it the perfect place to hide. Vea's supposed to wait inside, but she's bored. I know she's been sneaking out. You'll find her in the cave or just outside. Get to the swamp and find Vea. She's eager for any information about her brother, so she's really going to appreciate getting that registry. Just try not to be too charming when you meet her hero. She has enough distractions as it is. Vea would face too many temptations here in Balmora. Friends, favorite places, familiar sights and sounds, not to mention the proximity to all things House Redarin. Even the most thick-headed house guard would eventually stumble over her. Oh, don't thank me, hero. As long as you're useful and don't betray us, then we're engaged in a mutually beneficial arrangement. Cross us in any way, however, and you'll never see my blade before it plunges into your heart. Well enough. Ulron and Vea used to sneak out to watch me train. I have a way with blades that fascinated them to no end. Eventually, our fondness developed between the three of us. And to think, I never even had a nick sound growing up. It's not like personal relationships are against the rules, though I suppose they are sort of frowned upon. Anyway, my assignments always brought me back to Vardenfell, so we were able to keep in touch and visit even as they grew older. Anything's possible, but the Ulron I know holds honor above all else. I can't believe he'd do something so dishonorable that the House leaders would demand his exile. We need to find out more about what happened. Vea's young, bored, and stubborn. That makes for a volatile combination. She wants fresh air and freedom. I can't blame her for that. I can blame her for assuming I'm not aware of her little excursions. I thought I trained her better than that. Danger's a relative term, especially when you're dealing with relatives. Vea can make her own decisions. If she wants to risk getting caught by House Redren, that's on her head, especially since she knows they've been searching that area.
The Councillor has his priorities all out of sorts. The real threat lies to the south. House Halalu encroaching on ancestral Redoran lands. Building settlements even. I saw this coming ever since we let Fort Firemoth go fallow. Let your guard down even a little and those Halalu scribs will snatch away all they can.
And you're sure it's Vea? House Redoran isn't emptying its coffers so you can chase your own tails out here.
You pay the war claws well, because the war claws are the best there is. We have the kitten scent. It's just a matter of time before my warriors catch her.
Of course, Ferhara. Just make sure she doesn't get out of the swamp. I'll take my soldiers and guard the eastern paths, in case she eludes your warriors again. Ah, the Councillor's lackey. I understand you've made significant progress in your search for Vea. As a matter of fact, so have we. This whole ordeal will be over soon, and then you can be on your way, Outlander. My mercenaries have spotted Vea skulking about the northern portion of the swamp. Between my soldiers and Ferhara's war claws, the Councillor's daughter will soon be home safe and sound. Vea's brother. It's a sad story. Killed one of his own soldiers to protect an Ashlander of all things. I think they were being too lenient when they simply exiled him. But that's how they treat the privileged few. Ulron always had an unnatural attraction to the Ashlanders and their savage ways. He felt that an Ashlander life was worth more than a Redoran life. The Council didn't agree with his assessment. This will all be over as soon as Ferhara finds Vea. Khajiit mercenaries of the highest order. For members of a lesser race, Ferhara's warriors are surprisingly effective. I employ them to bolster our forces. Between obligations to the Pact and other matters, House Redoran is spread thin of late. As you say, Ferhara's war claws take their contract as seriously as you do, however. Get in their way, and I can't guarantee your safety.
Ferhara assumes the Councillor's minions will not present a problem for the war claws. Yes, Captain?
The Outlanders have been warned, Ferhara. I leave everything else to your discretion.
Ferhara enjoys a friendly rivalry as much as the next mercenary. But the Relef kitten belongs to war claws, yes. Let's not get our tails tangled over this, Dullclaw. Forbade is such a complicated concept. It assumes that the rules are applied equally to everyone, and we both know the foolishness of that assumption. The war claws have a long-standing contract that predates any proclamations by the Councillor. Captain Briven's predecessor? Forgive Ferhara. This one can barely remember the names of those who lack claws and fur. But yes, we worked with Ulran, though Briven appreciates our technique so much more than he ever did. Trade secrets, you understand. Ferhara can tell you the war claws do whatever it takes to accomplish the job. This assignment is perfect for us, since we specialize in missing persons. We find them, we make them disappear. Whatever the client needs.
Stupid war claws. Now I know how a mouse feels. By the three! You really shouldn't sneak up on a person like that. If you're working with those mercenaries, I assure you, you won't take me without a fight. Oh, right. Now you mentioned something about that. Look, I can't wait to hear what you learned, but the swamp is crawling with mercenaries. There's a cave to the northeast. We can talk there. Unfortunately, there's a mob of those beast people between here and the cave. I was going to try and sneak past them, but every time I get too close, I think one of them catches my scent. You're going to tackle that mob of fur and claws? I'm impressed. Meet me at the cave when you're finished. I think we have a lot to talk about. Oh, and try not to get killed. I really want to know what you came all this way to tell me. Meet me in the cave to the north when you finish with the mercenaries.
I can smell the Dark Elf kitten. Looks like we're the first ones here. I need healing!
Warclaw! Let's flay this outsider! Whew, that was a bit of a warm-up.
What do you think of my luxurious accommodations? It's got dirt and rock, fungus and a poultry fire, all the comforts of home. Anyway, you said you had information about my brother, Oran. What did you find out? No, that can't be right. Oran's honorable and noble. He's a model soldier. What could he have possibly done to warrant being banished? What? My brother has always been interested in the Ashlanders. Even showed them a kindness the rest of the house doesn't approve of. But for him to kill someone, especially one of his own soldiers, something terrible must have happened. I know the tribe that Oran liked to help, brought them supplies and such. He'd go and visit their camp whenever our father wasn't paying attention. Will you go with me to talk to them? Wait, someone's coming.
She can handle herself just fine, hero. Vea, grab your things. It's time to go.
Go? Why? What's going on?
The Warclaws are marching toward this cave along with half the House Redoran soldiers in Balmora. We need to go now.
Damn it! They must have followed us. I'll get my stuff.
Dealing with an arrogant, impatient, overconfident young woman. Now I know how my mother must have felt. We need to move. It won't take those damn cats long to find this place, not with their sense of smell. The back tunnels. Better than heading out the front door and right into the main contingent of Redoran troops. Councillor Eris brought additional soldiers from town. He's intent on getting his daughter, and he may have the numbers to do it. One more thing. The back tunnels wind their way through territory that House Redoran recently acquired. We may run into some resistance, but it shouldn't be as bad as what's waiting outside the front of the cave. I'll slow down the main contingent of Redoran forces while you lead Vea out through the back tunnels. I'll find you once we're all clear of the house soldiers and the Khajiit mercenaries.
Does the ceiling look unstable to you?
Search everywhere. Captain Privet thinks the Councilor's kitten might be able to escape from these tunnels.
No, we're surrounded! And that's my father! What's he doing here?
Sweep the caves. If you spot Vea, report back to me. She's not to be harmed.
I prefer that you don't harm the agents I hired either. There's no need for bloodshed.
Father ruins everything! I'm so close to finding my brother, and he shows up to drag me back home! Well, I'm not going back without a fight. You do that for me. Thanks, I guess. But what can you possibly do against all those soldiers? My father brought the whole damn army with him this time. Clever. Tell my father whatever he wants to hear. That might actually work. Afterward, meet me at the Ashlander camp to the south. My brother would often visit that particular tribe. It's as good a place as any to start. Once I find Ulran and make sure he's all right, I'll meet with my father. But that meeting will be on my terms, not his. And tell him to call off his soldiers, or I might change my mind. That should buy us some time.
Halt! Who goes there?
Stand down. These outlanders work for me.
Well, look what the cat's almost dragged in. I'm not sure what happened in the cave, but I suspect you have a lot to answer for, Outlander.
The captain reported that he had seen you in the area. There are also multiple reports that Vea has been spotted. Tell me, have you seen my daughter? I won't sleep well until she's home, safe and sound. I also said that the captain has his own resources. The War Claws report to Briven, not me. Look, we're all just trying to get my daughter home safely. Now, tell me what Vea's thinking. It was a gamble, I admit. An opportunity I couldn't let slip away. You won't make me feel guilty about trying to find my daughter. So, where and when will Vea meet with me? Very well. We'll do this her way. Vea can be as stubborn as her mother sometimes. But tell my daughter that my patience won't last forever. Next time, I expect Vea to be with you. Or I might just let Captain Briven do this his way. Do as I command, and let them pass.
Well, there certainly aren't Ashlanders, not with those tails.
This is disturbing.
I'm not sure what's going on here, but I bet I'm not going to like the answer. Talk to my apprentice. She's eager to find her brother.
I can't believe this. Why allow the Warclaws to run roughshod over the camp like this? What's House Redoran thinking? And what in the name of the three have they done with the Ashlanders? My brother often visited this camp. Took me along a couple of times. It used to be such a vibrant place, so full of life. I know House Redoran wants to expand along the western coast, but I never expected they'd set the Warclaws loose like this. If Ulran was here, he'd never stand for the Warclaws invading the camp. He told me the Ashlanders were the same as you and I. Different beliefs don't necessarily make people bad. We need to see if we can find out what happened here. I really want to help, but Naryu won't hear of it. We don't get our hands dirty unless there's a writ attached. She's so fond of reminding me. We'll hang around and wait for you to find something before we move in.
Vea, I don't think this is a good idea. We're trying to keep you out of House Redoran hands, remember?
You're not my parent, Naryu. I can take care of myself, even if the Mother of Blades doesn't think so.
Damn it, Vea! You know I hate that title. I'll make sure Vea stays out of trouble. Just find whatever you can so we can get out of here before the Warclaws notice us. She only calls me that to annoy me. It's an obscure Morag Tong title given to ranking female agents when they take on apprentices. She's just lucky that as her mentor, I'm not allowed to kill her. You're not that lucky.
If I'd realized how popular this camp was going to be with Outlanders, I would have moved the tribe ages ago. You don't appear to be one of the heretical invaders, but looks can be deceiving. What do you seek, stranger? Ah, Ulran the Exile. He disgraced his family and lost his status, but remained true to his heart. Ulran is here. He tried to stand against the Redorans, just as they detained me within this yurt. I assume they dragged him off to the mine, along with most of the tribe who refused to let those tribunal dogs walk all over us. Or should I say tribunal cats in this instance? Be wary. The mine will be as protected as the camp, maybe even more so. It's a small hole in the ground, but it served us well until the Redorans and their Warclaws arrived. Now they toss my people aside and lock the door. Warclaw Irgazar carries the key, but there is a spare in the supply yurt. Get the key to the mine from either the Warclaw's commander or the supply yurt, whichever suits your needs. Perhaps you'll find what you seek within Kudanot's depths. To keep the head and the body separate. As long as I'm here, I can't offer my people hope or advice, and I certainly can't compel them to rebel against these invaders. I have no doubt. However, my place remains with my people, at least for now. The Warclaws have treated me well so far. They believe I can make their tails fall off if I so choose. Who am I to dissuade such creatures from their beliefs?
I guess this is a fight now. Would it kill them to run away? Well, no, I guess it wouldn't. Maybe they should try that.
We're just going to burn them? Even the Redren?
The captain called them traitors and savages. Said the good roasting was more than they deserved.
now!
Veya, stay back. You don't need to see this.
What happened here? Oh gods, they murdered these poor Ashlanders! Oh no! Oran! Oran! Wake up, please! You can't be dead. You just can't!
Veya shouldn't have had to see this. Even I'm finding it hard to believe that the mercenaries would slaughter these Ashlanders for no reason. Not to mention the son of a house councillor. Doesn't make any sense. I suppose anything could happen in the heat of the moment. But to kill a Redrun, even an exiled one, that's presumptuous even for the war clause. I wonder if Eris knows about this. I'm not sure how Veya's going to get her answers now. I've seen these before. They use them in Eastmarch to record and send important messages. They're expensive and as rare as a sober Nord, but Oron was always attracted to the contrivances of other cultures. Shall we see what it has to say?
If you're listening to my voice, know that my time is short, and what I have to say is important.
Brother, is that you?
Everything that happened was a deliberate act to discredit me. I need to report the events so my sister can learn the truth about her brother.
Go on, let's see what message Oron left for us to find.
You have to understand, I don't share my house's hatred and distrust of Ashlanders. So, during my normal patrol, when I heard that Ashlanders had come to Balmora and were causing trouble, I was dubious to say the least. I arrived to find one of my soldiers arguing with the Ashlanders. He spat at them, called them savages. When one of the Ashlanders objected, my soldier drew his sword. Before I could intervene, my soldier's blade struck him down. I ordered the soldier to stand down, but he ignored me and stepped toward the second Ashlander. I killed my own soldier. I had to. Before I knew it, I was dragged before the Redoran Council and exiled. I never even got to say farewell to my sister. I believe I was set up for this fall, but I don't know by who. I came to this camp for shelter, but House Redoran's reach grows ever longer. Now Captain Briven's here. I'm going to talk to them, just in case I made this stone for my sister Veya.
Oran! Damn it! What am I supposed to do now?
I agree with Ulran's assessment. Certainly sounds like someone led him into a situation guaranteed to make him fail. I can't believe he put this burden on Veya, though. What was Ulran thinking? I didn't say that. I'm just not sure how to proceed. We're entering dangerous waters here, going up against House Redoran, and we don't even have a writ to protect us. I'm going to take Veya and head back to our safe house in Balmora. They found our cave, but the abandoned basement is still secure. After that, I'm not sure. The Morrowind Tong has rules. If I break them, I'll have to deal with the consequences. We can't just kill with wild abandon. We follow a code. We only execute those whose names appear on sanctioned writs. If we kill respectable citizens without a writ, that's just murder. So, without proof and a proper writ, my hands are tied. You do that, but be careful. We're not sure who in the House Redoran is involved, and I'd rather not see you wind up like these poor Ashlanders. Veya and I still need your help to get to the bottom of all of this. We'll see you in Balmora, hero.
that look? You have bad news to deliver, don't you? Talk to my husband, then. I'm not ready to hear it.
And so the Outlander returns, as we discussed in the swamp. I expected you to return with Vea, or present me with a time and place for us to meet. Tell me, Outlander, which is it to be? Complication? What kind of complication? I ordered my soldiers to stand down and let you do things your way. But instead of results, you bring me excuses. No, that's not possible. My son was banished, ordered to leave Vardenfell and never return. Why would he disobey me and go to those savages? Vea was with you? And you left her out there? By the three, everything is unraveling no matter how hard I try to maintain control. I need you to do something else for me, if you would, Outlander. Tell my daughter I'm sorry. Tell her she needs to stay away until I can calm things down. I don't want to see anything happen to her. Promise me. And take this. Consider it payment for your efforts thus far. If you'll excuse me, I need some time to consider everything you've told me. Once I determine the best way to proceed, I'll contact you. In the meantime, make sure Vea stays away from Balmora and House Redoran. It was never meant to be an attack. I sent Captain Briven to clear land that already belonged to House Redoran. The Ashlanders were given an opportunity to depart. The situation didn't have to turn violent. Those damn savages should have just left. House Redoran has been slowly expanding in that direction for years. We claimed that area almost a year ago, but we were forced to temporarily abandon it when a massive ash storm hit. Before we could return, the Ashlanders moved in. Redoran depends on that land for hunting and resources. The Ashlanders are like a plague of insects. They sweep into an area, take everything, and move on. We couldn't allow them to do that here. So I sent Captain Briven to convince them otherwise. The captain serves House Redoran with honor and dedication. He's out doing his job. If Briven had anything to do with my son's death, he would have reported it to me. He'd have no reason to keep such news from me and the other counselors. I'll speak to Briven when he returns. But understand, the captain operated under my orders. He's an exemplary soldier and an upstanding member of the House. Like me, everything he does is for the betterment of House Redoran.
Is what you said about my son true? Ulran is dead? Ulran was good at getting himself into trouble, but I never thought it would come to this. Please, Outlander, don't let the same thing happen to my daughter. I don't attend council meetings, so I wasn't there when they debated the fate of my son. But my husband assured me the proceedings were fair. Ulran received the punishment he deserved. At least that's what he told me at the time. I can't believe that my son did anything that required him to die. House honor be damned! I just want my children back home, safe and sound. My husband and the house can go to oblivion. All I care about right now is my children. They killed my son because he did what he believed was right. Now my poor Vea is in danger. Eris can stand by the house, but he might have to do so alone.
Outlander, over here! Naryu told me what you found in the Ashlander mine. I can't imagine what Veya must be going through right now, but she shouldn't be alone. That's why I came looking for you. Naryu has responsibilities to tend to. Morag Tong responsibilities. Understand? She left me to keep Veya company, but I'm not very good at spouting words of comfort and solace. Unless I can kill something, I'm very good at that. You do understand. And now you implied you're as dense as the ash storms coming off Red Mountain. Good to know even the Mother of Blades can be wrong. Veya's upset, and not just about her brother. She wanted to go with Naryu. One other thing. Naryu's job concerns House Redoran. That's why she didn't want Veya to accompany her on this one. Veya's grief-stricken, angry, and ready to lash out at anyone and anything, so keep your head low and try not to upset her. I have experience getting on a lot of people's bad sides. Women, especially, find me exasperating. Irresistible, but exasperating. It's a gift. Something about who Naryu's target is. Thinks the target may know something about what happened to her brother. Look, I'm not even sure how Veya found out who Naryu's target is, and I don't want to know. Just go and talk to her, please. Carefully, and with your hands empty and clearly visible. She's in the safe house beneath Balmora, or at least that's where I left her. But I didn't lock the door, so I suppose she could be anywhere by now. I suggest you hurry and get down there.
Out of here, Upshur. I don't need a nursemaid, no matter what Naryu might think. Oh, it's you. Sorry about that. Did Ashur send you to check up on me? I swear, the next person that treats me like a child is going to find my dagger in their stomach. Gods, I'm not mad at you. I'm just annoyed at everybody right now. No, I don't think so. It's just been difficult. Finding poor Ulran in the Ashlander camp. I need to be doing something. Sitting down here in the dark, hiding, that's not going to solve anything. I know, but Naryu's writ. It involves a Redoran councillor. Exactly the opportunity I've been waiting for. The councillor knows who set up my brother. We need to talk to her before Naryu executes the writ. Do this for me, and I promise to stay here. Well, Naryu wouldn't tell me any specifics, but she trained me well. It wasn't hard to sneak a glance at the writ before she took off. Her target's at Arenem Manor, out in the swamp. Not far from that smelly cave, actually. I appreciate you agreeing to see what you can learn at Arenem Manor. My father used to say it was used by councillors as a retreat, but Mother always told me it was where they conducted business that required a certain degree of privacy. That's all I've been doing, thinking. And I think Ulran was right. I think someone wanted him out of the way, and they orchestrated the event with the Ashlanders to do it. Someone played my brother for a fool, and it cost him his life. Brivon's as stubborn as my father when it comes to following the rules and regulations of House Redoran. Ulran and Brivon were best friends, even if they argued from time to time. Politics, foreign relations, the Ashlanders, you name an issue, and Ulran and Brivon were probably on opposite sides of the argument. It got to the point where I had to ignore both of them or they'd drive me insane. You did? How did he take it? I mean, he didn't know that my brother was dead. Really? I suppose that makes sense. I think he loves us, in his own way. But what else did he say? Did he know that Ulran had been banished? He didn't expect... My father doesn't know his children as well as he thinks. Either of them. That's why I had to get away. Join the Morag Tongue. At least Naryu understands me. Mostly. I can't agree to that. I need to figure out what happened to my brother, who was involved, and then I'm going to make them pay. Just you watch.
I expected you hours ago, hero. It's not polite to keep an assassin waiting. I was wondering how long it was going to take Vea to convince you to follow me. But she thought I didn't notice when she glanced at my writ, didn't she? Where is my overly curious apprentice, by the way? I know Vea wants answers, but this is my job. There are rules, especially where the lords of the great houses are concerned. There might be a way to deal with this, though, provided you're willing to help. First, don't kill any Redrens. That's a violation of my writ and could have serious consequences for both of us. Second, you sneak around and search for anything that pertains to Ulron's exile while I figure out how to deal with the Counselor. We need to be invisible. These things work best when no one but the target knows we're there. If you get spotted, you're on your own. I even cough on anyone without a writ, and the Morag Tongue will have my head. It's unusual, but not unheard of. True, most writs taken out against the houses target low to mid-ranking officials. The Grand Master is cautious when it comes to accepting such a high-profile writ. Apparently, though, this target has been very bad. Councillor Dovera has been conspiring with House Drez to promote the slave trade and avoid scrutiny by Redren and Pact officials. She played a dangerous but profitable game, and her coffers were overflowing, until someone noticed. I'm not privy to the laborious investigations that took place. In cases like these, though, the target usually becomes complacent and lets her guard down. She made a mess. Now I get to clean it up, for the good of Dunmer society. That's the question, isn't it? It nags at us the way the torchbug nags at the brave little scrib in those children's stories. Once we discover who Ulron's torchbug is, we'll have a clearer understanding of why they set him up, and why he had to die. I'm not saying that. Accidents happen. But they certainly made sure Ulron was in the wrong place at the wrong time, both in Balmora and again in the Ashlander camp. In addition to whatever you can find here, we should also talk to Captain Briven. Briven's name keeps coming up. At the very least, he was Ulron's best friend once. He might be able to shed some light on Ulron and what happened to cause his exile. And I really want to know what took place after Ulron left us that message. Vea's my apprentice, and I'll decide when she's ready to take on a mission. She's been through a lot, and her actions reflect on me and my status in the Morag Tongue. She may not appreciate it right now, but I'm trying to keep the both of us on track. That's how it works. Her actions are my actions. Vea goes out and executes 3 writs. I share the credit and get praised for training my apprentice. On the other hand, if she kills someone without a writ, the Morag Tongue takes both our heads. There have to be. My order came this close to being eliminated. It's only recently that we've started to make a comeback, and only in Dunmer territory. If we can't control the actions of our members, we'll be hunted down and destroyed for sure. Damn the luck! I was hoping for a quick stab and go, but it seems the Counselor might actually know something about Ulron. So Councillor Dovera does know something about Vea's brother. Damn it all! Now I suppose you want to actually talk to her before I execute the walking pile of pond scum. Of course we do. I specifically waited for you to arrive because I figured that would be the case. Still doesn't mean I'm happy about blurring the line between helping Vea and performing my duty as a Morag Tong. We discovered that the next meeting of the High Council will take place at the consulate outside Balmora. The war clause and the Ashlander abuse aren't completely sanctioned by the House, and Dolvera was present when Ulran was exiled. Not a bad haul. That means we have to get Dolvera to spill her guts before I spill her guts. Just keep your wits about you, hero. Dolvera wields her feminine charms the way I wield my daggers. Don't let her seduce you into doing something stupid before I end her. So do my daggers.
Ah, you must be here about those pesky patrol schedules. After all that clandestine correspondence, it's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. Now, come closer so we can celebrate our partnership in a proper fashion. Well, look at you. I'm impressed. The last person House Drez sent over was so much more scruffy. I have a meeting with House Halalu shortly, but I think I can spare a few more moments for you. To seal our partnership, you understand. The noble's banished son? Why does House Drez care about that? Never mind. Anything so we can get to the good stuff. Ulran was tested and found wanting. Chose the life of a savage over his own soldier. We stripped him of his rank and exiled him. Ulron's dead? I hadn't heard. As to who was behind the test of Ulron's loyalty, what does that matter? He failed and paid the price for his poor choices. What does all this have to do with our arrangement?
You aren't clever enough or pretty enough to avoid what's about to happen, Dolvera.
What's the meaning of this? Who are you people?
I'm a Morag Tong with a writ that says you're a criminal and a traitor. That means I get to end your miserable existence. Take another look around, hero, and see if you can find anything else related to Ulran. More proof that Dolvera was in bed with both House Halalu and House Drez. That's Captain Briven's seal. I suppose our evil counselor courted favor wherever she could find it. The good Captain Briven appears to be more involved in Ulron's fate than I had imagined. He never struck me as the type to use murder and deceit to get ahead, but that's the problem with greed. It causes decent people to make stupid choices. Or he's trying to hide something. The letter mentioned an intact squad sent to scout the old fort. You need to get out there and see what those soldiers know before Briven gives them new orders and they disappear. I suppose she's probably pulled tight as a bowstring waiting to hear something. Go talk to Vea while I present my writ to the authorities. I can't wait to see the look on the Redoran Magister's face when I tell him what his counselor was up to. Go on. Vea should hear what we learned. We're getting closer to the truth, but there's still something missing. I'll meet up with you after I present my writ. Then we can find out what Ulron's soldiers know.
Back again? Took your sweet time. You didn't learn anything, did you? Not that it matters. Oran's dead and nothing can change that. What good is that going to do? They won't speak to us. House before family and all that. Believe me, I'm more than familiar with Redarin honor. Still, I suppose I know a few ways to get people to talk. More rules. I thought we were beyond those kinds of limitations. Look, I need to figure out who's responsible for Oren's death. House councillors, Redarin soldiers, Ashlanders, whoever it is, they need to pay. Riven was Oren's best friend. Would he really betray my brother? Regardless, I want you to have this. You could have handed me to my father and you didn't. Other than Naryu and Asher, you might be the only friend I have left. So which soldiers are we talking about? I know most of the people my brother used to work with. Eyewitnesses are better than notes in the house registry, provided I can actually get them to talk to me. There's no time to waste. That fort's near the cave where I was hiding. Last time I was there, the fort was crawling with cultists. We need to find them before Vatala and his soldiers wind up sacrificed to some Daedric prince. We'll get Vatala and his soldiers killed. I know the process. Turning in a writ can take hours, maybe even an entire day. I'll leave Naryu a note. She can meet us at the fort. I'm going. Either come with me or get out of my way. Let me gather my gear and write a note for Naryu. I'll meet you near the Hlormaran stronghold. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am that we'll learn who's responsible for Oran's death soon. Then blood will flow. As far as I'm concerned, rules got my brother killed. They don't apply to me anymore. Besides, to find the soldiers, we're probably going to have to carve a path through those cultists. The Morag Tong won't care about that. That's what the handbook says. Look, I know what Naryu's done for me. To keep me safe, I appreciate that. But this is about what they did to my brother. Nothing else matters. Not Naryu, not you, and certainly not me. No, never. You and Naryu aren't my enemies. I just need to get justice for Ulran. Otherwise his death will be the first of many. We have to be able to resist laws that make no sense or get people hurt, without being afraid of getting exiled. I know Vatala. He's a typical Redarin soldier, loyal to a fault, always spouting nonsense about house and honor above all. He was devoted to my brother, though. Ulran considered him to be one of his best. Ulran had a habit of putting the needs of others ahead of his own. He probably told Vatala and his soldiers to remain quiet, decided to take responsibility and save them any heartache. I hope these soldiers remember that when we find them. You're here, I'm here, the damn cultists are here. You know who isn't here? Vatala and his squad. They're probably hiding, or dead. They better not be dead. Naryu's probably busy clearing her writ, and we don't have time to wait. This opportunity to learn more about what happened to Ulran won't last much longer. We need to find that squad of soldiers. Fine. You wait for Naryu. I'm going to go and find those soldiers. Their orders were to scout the old stronghold. I suggest we search along the outskirts and see if we can pick up their trail. Let's find the soldiers and get out of here before these stupid cultists realize what's happening.
Who's that? We won't let you take us without a fight. Wait.
Thank the three! You're all still alive. Was that the last of them? Oh, thank feck.
I'm not sure what you and Vea are doing here, but let us out. Then we can return Vea to her father. Councillor Eris has been terribly worried since she disappeared. This isn't the time or the place to have that discussion. Get the key to this cage and then we can find a private place to talk. One of the cultists carries the key. I don't think he's too far away. We hear him patrolling around every so often. Free us, and I'll tell you whatever you want to know. You have my word as a Redoran and as an officer.
You find the key. Me and Vatala. We're going to have a little chat while we're waiting.
Vea, I'm just trying to protect you.
From what? The truth? Oh, please. I want to know who did this to my brother.
Another sacrifice for the Prince of Bargains.
I knew I shouldn't have told Vea the truth. I just made everything worse. Please let us out of here. We have to stop Vea before she does something she'll regret. I told her what she wanted to hear. I was with Captain Ulran the day everything happened. I was commanded to lure the Ashlanders to town and set up a situation for Ulran to deal with. My orders were to invite the Ashlanders to Balmora to trade, send some local toughs to instigate a commotion, and then get Ulran to investigate. It was just supposed to be a loyalty test. Who expected Ulran to kill his own soldier to save a savage? Captain Briven, though he was still a lieutenant at the time. As soon as I explained all this to Vea, her face turned dark and she stormed out of here. I think she's going to Balmora to kill him. You need to let me out so I can warn the captain. Thank you. Now, get to Balmora and stop Vea before she does something she'll regret.
Get your ass over here, hero. We've got a situation and it's not good. I leave you and Vea alone for a couple of hours and everything goes to oblivion in an ore cart. Why did Vea leave the safe house? And why is House Redoran tearing the city apart to find her? You did what? I suppose you thought that was a good idea? Well, the damage is done. At least tell me you found something to make this debacle a little more palatable. That explains why Vea broke into the kin house. I'm not sure what happened in there, but she certainly stirred up the Redoran soldiers. Vea might still be inside. Or she might have given them the slip. She could be anywhere by now. If Vea kills Briven without a writ, the Morrowind Tong and House Redoran will both want her head on a silver platter. You check the kin house. I'll grab Ashur and see if we can pick up Vea's trail in the streets. Don't let me down, hero.
It was the councillor's daughter, Vea. She barged inside like a madwoman. I heard the clash of steel, screams and shouts. It was terrifying. And then the soldiers started filling the streets. Don't go in there, it's not safe.
The young woman, she killed them all. Didn't say a word, just walked in, drew her blades and cut down every soldier who tried to stop her. And her eyes, I never saw such rage as I saw in her eyes. She headed upstairs, to Captain Briven's apartment, I think. I can't believe she killed all these soldiers. No, she totally ignored us. Just the soldiers. Nobody else was harmed.
and gloom.
What's the meaning of this? Where are the soldiers? If you're looking for my husband, I'll tell you the same thing that I told that brazen young woman. The council is meeting outside Balmora, and Briven is protecting the councillors. Now, if you don't mind, I've had more than enough excitement for one day. I could barely make sense of the nonsense she was spouting. It was Vea, Councillor Eris's daughter. Everything she said was a ramble. Something about my husband betraying her brother, that my Briven had to suffer just as she was suffering. She had a knife, but no, she didn't harm me. She said her brother wouldn't hurt an innocent, that I wasn't responsible for his death. Do you have any idea what she was talking about? Because I certainly don't. You shouldn't get involved. That young woman will hasten her own death if she thinks she can get past my husband and his soldiers. But if you insist, the meeting is taking place at the garrison north of Balmora. Dead soldiers? They were just protecting the kin house.
What hope is there?
I'll go stay with my sister in Vivek. Please tell me you found Vea. I can already feel the cold steel of the executioner's blade on the back of my neck. Is Vea trying to get herself killed? You can't just barge into a Redren garrison and ask the soldiers to stand aside while you murder their captain. We have to get to her before she gets to Briven. She murdered soldiers without a writ. This is a dark path she's decided to follow. And unless we play this just right, it's not going to end well for any of us. Let's find Vea and put a stop to this. We can deal with any consequences after that. I can't believe my apprentice might be responsible for causing the Morag Tong to fall out of favor again. And she's not alone in this. I'm right there with her, about to plunge my career into the sewer. I hope we can talk some sense into her. I don't like the looks of this. Briven is using war claws to patrol the garrison instead of Redren soldiers. Either house forces are stretched thinner than I thought, or Briven wants to justify the use of mercenaries to the council. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. We know Ulron refused to employ mercenaries. He hated counting on thugs to do the right thing. I expect the Redren Council feels the same. Maybe Briven's trying to show them what the war claws can do. The war claws may be a blessing in disguise. I can explain killing these bastards a lot easier than trying to wipe Redren blood off my hands. Let's go stop Vea. I'm ready when you are, hero. There's no stealthy way to approach this. The front door's our only option. Then we track down Briven, find Vea, bonk her on the head, and get her out of here before she does something I can't fix. Easy as gore apple pie. I'll cause a distraction and try to draw away some of the war claws. Then I'll meet you inside. Just be careful in there. Alert too many of the soldiers or mercenaries, and we'll have the entire garrison after our beautiful arses. Glad to see we all made it. Now let's find Briven before Vea skewers him. Like many Redren structures, this place is huge and designed to serve a multitude of purposes. We're going to need to split up to cover it all.
We must find Brivin and keep him alive until I can talk some sense into my damn apprentice. He's going to be as mad as a bullnetch and twice as ugly, provided we can actually convince him we're here to save his sorry hide and that we're not part of a plot to kill him and the counselors. Just another day at the fair, right, hero? I'm working without a writ on this one. Find Brivin and make sure Vea doesn't kill him. Stay focused on that and we might just pull this off. I hate spilling blood without a contract, but we might not have a choice. We just have to stop Vea. Nothing yet, eh? I hear voices behind this door, but it's locked tight.
Healer! I need healing! Aid me!
I haven't so much as heard or seen even a whisper of Brivin yet. Just lots of snarling war claws. If we can't get through this door, there's only one other way to go. It's always important to figure out where a target keeps its wine. In this case, down in the cellars. There's a staircase back where we first came in. And if we still don't find Brivin or Vea, well, at least there'll be plenty to drink. And I'll figure out how to get this door open, just in case. You know, attending a House Redoran Council meeting was always a secret goal of mine. Right after getting a lusty Argonian maiden to scrape my flesh raw with her abrasive tongue. Never mind me, I'm just in a foul mood. See what you can find in the cellars. I'll work on opening this door.
Captain Brivin is on his way. Soon we'll have a permanent job in House Redoran, yes? Kill the intruders. They have interfered for the last time.
What's going on down here? It sounds like a... You! What are you doing here? Explain yourself! What in the name of the three are you up to? I thought you worked for Councillor Eris. You better have a damn good reason for killing the mercenary leader. I ought to sound the alarm and let her warriors deal with the likes of you. Vea? She's barely out from under her mother's apron and she presumes to judge my actions? No matter. Whatever your motives, nothing justifies the blatant killing of Ferhara and her mercenaries. Councillor Eris can't protect you this time, Outlander. Ah, now everything becomes clear. Vea learned something of her brother's fate and wants to retaliate. Then let her come. But know this. I merely set the events in motion. I didn't conceive the plan. You're looking for the responsible party. Then look no further than Councillor Eris. He wanted to prove his son's loyalty to the House. To show that Oren's fascination with the savage Ashlanders hadn't corrupted him. Well, look how that turned out. A test Ulrun failed. Eris was devastated when his son sided with the savages, and his daughter ran away. He decided to resign his position. He'll make the announcement today. Eris hopes to restore his family, but I think it's a lost cause.
That's for Oren. Choke on your own blood, you bastard. My father, the entire council, they're all guilty. They all have to die. I have to do this, so stay out of my way.
Vea actually did it. She killed Briven in cold blood. Vea killed Briven without a writ. It was pure, focused rage. I never expected her to go through with it. If Vea doesn't get herself killed up there, the Morag Tong will hunt her down and execute her, like a rabid gua. Her and me both. I'm not sure they deserve to be saved, but that's what we have to do. Vea can't be allowed to kill the councillors. We have to stop her. It's more than me and Vea's lives on the line. Something like this could destroy the Morag Tong. The Morag Tong only recently began to find acceptance again. Vea's actions don't just reflect badly on me. They could be used to force us back into the shadows, maybe even disband us all together. We're both going to have to answer for this. We have to get ahead of her. Cut her off. There's a door on the main floor, near the kitchens, that should allow us to come at the council meeting from another direction. I was able to get it open when I was scouting around up there. Let's go. No more time to talk. Let's go stop Vea. Nothing's more important than reaching the council meeting. If the mercenaries get in our way, cut them down. But now I'm going to.
Eris will deal with this. We're safe in here. There's no need to panic.
No need to panic. She's cut down every mercenary in her way.
Vea's getting close. We're running out of time. Let me try to open this door.
Vea, daughter. I'm so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen.
Come on, stubborn, stupid
Father,
rock.
why? Does the house really matter more than your own son?
I needed to protect Ulron, to prove his loyalty. If I could do it all over again.
But you can't! None of us can! That's why I have to do this!
That's an order!
I'm not your apprentice anymore. The house has grown corrupt, evil. That's why all the councillors have to die. No more rules! No more secrets! House Redoran falls today!
Enough, Vea! This isn't the way!
bloodshed. So much needless death. If only Eris would have listened. Outlander, we should speak. I think we can help one another.
She wants to talk to you, Hero, not me. Best not keep the High Counselor waiting.
The Morag Tong agent. She cares deeply for Veya, doesn't she? It takes great courage to go against your heart and do what you know is best. You both did that by protecting the Council. For that, you have my thanks. A series of regrettable decisions led to this family tragedy, and most of them were made by Eris Relith. I knew of Ulron's compassion concerning the Ashlanders. It was unorthodox, but not worthy of the punishment meted out. Eris was wrong. Eris convinced Briven to test Ulron. Then the two of them decided to slaughter the Ashlanders. Oh, the Council allowed itself to be convinced that exile was an appropriate punishment, but we were wrong to let it go as far as it did. I didn't say that, but we're not butchers. We do not hire mercenary thugs to wipe out an entire people. This gathering was to deal with that. Eris planned to step down, and we were going to demote Briven for the part he played. House Redorin behaved poorly. Morag Tong rules were violated. I suggest we make sure these details never see the light of day. Leave the bodies where they are. We will say that Veya died protecting her father and the Council from the War Claws. Cooperate with House Redorin and hold your tongues. It's as simple as that. I shall return to the Council meeting and conclude our business. When we're finished, I expect you and Naryu to both be gone. That is all, Outlander.
I'm not sure about this. It's a generous offer, but those are some big secrets to sweep under a rug. Besides, Veya isn't dead. At least not yet. She's still breathing. The High Counselor thinks we killed her. The deal hinges upon all of us forgetting this sorry mess ever happened. Besides, once Veya regains her senses, there's every likelihood that she'll try to kill the Counselors again. When have I ever been able to convince Veya to do anything she didn't want to do? There's Redorin blood on Veya's hands. Once the Morag Tong ties those unauthorized murders to her, she's as good as dead anyway, and, more than likely, so am I. I don't see many options. We can either finish off Veya now, and go along with the High Counselor's deception, or we slip out of here with Veya and send her far, far away. She broke her vows and deserves to die. I know that, but it still feels wrong. You're right. If anyone's to blame for all this, it's me. I wasn't a good enough mentor. If for no other reason, Veya deserves a second chance. Look, you need to leave. We'll meet back in Balmora. And Hero, thanks.
How many times have I told you not to stick your blade in your apprentices, Naryu? She'll live, but she can't stay here. Not after what she's done.
I've got that covered. Veya won't be staying in Vardenfell.
This goes against every protocol, but I couldn't let poor Veya bleed to death. I patched all the holes you people put in her, and she should recover given time.
Ashur did an outstanding job. For an assassin, he's got a gift for the healing arts. Veya's going to live. Now I just have to convince her to listen to me this time. And as far as she knows, she did. Now Veya needs to disappear. Otherwise, both Redrin and the Morag tongue will go after her. Believe me, nobody survives that kind of attention. Veya didn't ask for everything that happened. She only wanted justice. I've arranged for a ship captain I know to meet us in Vivec City. From there, Veya will sail to Somerset and rendezvous with an associate of mine. He's kind of furry and a bit of an arse, but he's good people. He'll take care of Veya. As long as everyone sticks to the bargain, I go about my usual business. A writ here, a nice bath there, maybe a few intimate encounters along the way to relieve the tension, you understand. I just hope Veya's good with all this. She has to be. Always, hero. Oh, hey, I want you to have this. Something to remember me by until we meet again. I hope you don't leave here with the impression that all dark elves are conniving dirtbags. Some of us are also kind of sexy. Like me, for instance.
No. What happened?
Quiet, Veya. Rest now. We can talk later. Veya needs her rest. I don't want any of Ashur's stitches to split open before she's had a chance to fully heal. You want a last word with Veya? We'll be in Vivec City for a bit before her ship sets sail.
I don't have to go, you know. I can help clean things up around here. I know how to keep a low profile.
This isn't up for debate. You're going. How did I know you were going to show up, hero? Can't get enough of my smiling face, hmm? I know she tried to murder a kin house full of counselors, but Veya deserves to see a friendly face before I send her away. She spilled Redrin blood without a writ. She broke the rules of the Morag tongue. As I see it, I don't have a choice. Veya needs to remain dead in the eyes of Vardenfell. Otherwise we'll all have to pay for the damage she's done. Only if it fails, and that's not going to happen. Somerset is far enough away that no one will find her. Besides, Veya needs time to heal and make a fresh start. She'll be fine. Her new mentor is a pussycat compared to me.
Nara, you thought you might stop by. You probably hate me, and I completely understand. I'm still glad you showed up, though. I lost my brother. I killed my own father. I kind of went crazy out there for a while. I don't think I'll ever put this completely behind me. But I'll do what Naryu asks. I'll go away, finish my training, try to make a new start. Oh, to Somerset. But don't tell anybody. She was quite adamant about that. She's given me a letter of introduction for some highfalutin Khajiit. Works for a queen or something. Anyway, he's going to be my new mentor. Look, I'm sorry. Ulran's death made me crazy. That's no excuse. But I'm never going to forgive House Redoran for the attitudes that brought us here. I'm done with them. Take care of Naryu. I don't want her to get hurt because of me.
It was wise of you to seek the favor of my people. Less so, perhaps, to aid the Hleron. But I suppose we shall see what comes of that in time. Is there something I can do for you? I see. Yes, I have been using our time gathered here to urge the other tribes to adapt and make allies. It's vital to prepare if we want to survive the change that's to come. It hasn't been easy, but perhaps you could become a decisive example. Simply show a willingness to help the tribes, or even just a willingness to learn their ways. Go and speak with them. Show them you can be trusted, and you will be rewarded with the favor of the tribes. Meet with the Ashlander tribes. Hear their problems and offer your aid. Show your respect for their traditions, and you will surely find someone willing to speak with you. Help all you can, and let them see not everyone is our enemy.
Did you know that the Dark Elves make jelly out of scribs? You'd think bug jelly would taste awful, but spread it on bread and oh, it's divine. Me? Going to a tomb? No, that's what Narcissus Dren does. He's the explorer. I'm just the hired help. I'm surprised he's not here yet. I could have sworn that old scroll said Veloth tomb, but I suppose it could have been Dreloth. Oh, there are lots of tombs. You can't swing a dead mammoth without hitting the resting place of some dark elf ancestor. Vardenfell is overflowing with the things. Anyway, I guess I'll head over to the Dreloth tomb and see if Narcissus is there.
One moment. Let me finish this thought. What's this word? Oh, I wish my dear Narcissus would return so I could ask. His handwriting is atrocious. Oh well, I'll just write inky black darkness. That sounds like the tomb he described to me. The nearby Dreloth tomb, of course. My employer, the famous adventurer Narcissus Dren, explores its depths, searching for hidden treasure even as we speak. I hope to get to investigate a tomb one day. For now, I'm content to be Narcissus' assistant. I am the personal assistant to Narcissus Dren, and I know a great deal about a good many things. I found the old scroll that mentioned the treasure, after all. Narcissus has been gone a long time, though. Even missed lunch today, and he never skips a meal. You'll check on Narcissus? How sweet. I will make certain you get a mention in his next book. I suppose he just lost track of time studying an intriguing relic or some such. But I'll feel so much better if you go into Dreloth and see if he's all right. Certainly. I'd be more than happy to tell you all about the great Narcissus Dren and his exciting adventures. What do you want to know? I suppose I can take credit for that. I found an old scroll in a Talvani bookshop and took it right to Narcissus for analysis. His translation indicated there were secret passages inside. He said secret passages mean hidden treasure, so here we are. You don't know the great Narcissus Dren? He explores the world's most dangerous locations and writes books so that his beloved admirers can experience his adventures vicariously. Oh, just reading his words will send little thrills up and down your spine. It is much more than mere admiration. Narcissus Dren fills my heart the way mead fills an earthen jar. Someday, we will undergo the ritual of Mara and live happily as husband and wife. Elfbeta Dren. It has a certain flair, don't you think? You did? Rothgar, you say? Funny. I don't remember seeing you mentioned in Narcissus Dren and the Draugr Dilemma. Are you sure you met my Narcissus? A person of his stature is often impersonated by unscrupulous cats. Well, that doesn't sound like the Narcissus Dren I know. Just remember, Narcissus Dren does not have time for pretty admirers. His work in the Dreloth tomb is very important, so make sure he's all right. But keep your hands to yourself.
You must be my new apprentice. Well, let's start the lesson, shall we? You look familiar. Let me think.
The cave full of Nereids? The incident with Morala the Cruel and the Mephala cultists? No, I remember. The Draugr incident. We helped the orcs out of a jam, as I recall. What brings you down here, friend? Assistant? Oh, you mean that young Nord woman who's been hanging about? Very kind of her. But Narcissus Dren doesn't need to be coddled. I'm in the middle of a very important undertaking. There's more to this old tomb than meets the eye. According to an old scroll I discovered, this tomb was built atop two older structures. Imagine secret chambers that haven't been opened in centuries. And the family died out ages ago. No one to contest my findings. Except that creature over there. She did she? Probably told you she found it. Well, I had to translate it, and from the ancient Elven, no less. Difficult, even for me. Before I could begin my investigation, however, that creature over there appeared to harass me. It's a sneaky one. Silent as a tomb and twice as deadly. Even its shadow is terrifying. But it won't get the jump on Narcissus Dren. Slip into the chamber and see what its intentions are. I'll wait here, poised to leap to your aid as necessary. Go on. See what mischief that creature has planned for us. Just be careful. From the cast of its shadow, I'd say it's either a rabid ogrim or maybe an ardent hagraven. I never had much luck when it comes to hagravens. I knew there was nothing to worry about. Now lead on, my stalwart companion. This tomb won't explore itself. This isn't what I expected. It's rather small. This isn't right. Where's the treasure vault? The hidden chambers? This tomb deeply disappoints Narcissus Dren. Something more interesting than a boring burial chamber. This ancient scroll indicates that if you honor the ancestors, they reveal... I can't quite make out this word. I'm having a hard time translating some of these old idioms. Are you questioning my expertise? Ancient Elven is like a second language to me, and scholars across Tamriel revere my ability to make sense of historic gibberish. Still, I could check my notes again, just to be sure. Let me see. This squiggle means tomb. Oh, wait! That's V, not D. Veloth tomb. Ooh, what's this button do? Deal with that, will you? Then talk to Elfbet outside!
Narcissus shot out of that tomb so fast. Just like that time my sister laughed so hard and mead spurted out her nose. Narcissus was so excited he went to find a mage to open a portal. Told us to meet him there. Porphyry, pack up. We need to move.
He did, and he told me to tell you. But why he needs your help when he has me, well, that's just beyond my comprehension. Narcissus said that he found new information. He said that the scroll was not about Drelath Tomb. It pointed toward Veloth Tomb. You better get moving if you're going to help my Narcissus. Veloth Tomb is on the west coast, just south of Nisus. Borfrey can make his own way, just like you. He's reliable like that. Me? I might hire a mage. Portals are so much nicer than walking.
Hello? Is someone out there? I seem to have locked myself in. Who's out there? Oh, no, never mind. I don't care. I just want to get out of here. It's dark and it's cramped and it smells like an Argonian's armpit. I recognize that voice. I knew you'd come and find me. As for my current predicament, how was I supposed to know it was a trap? The door slammed shut and locked behind me. So, do a dark elf a favor and open the door like a good apprentice? Please? There's probably a button or something nearby. In my experience, there's always something pushable. I remember seeing Daedric symbols on plates along the wall. Try pushing a button that's divisible by 3. 3 has always been lucky for me. Now you're just trying to prolong my agony. Divisible by 3. Try pushing the 6th panel from the left, or the 3rd panel, or maybe the 8th panel. Any of the panels in a position that's divisible by 3. Another obstacle overcome by the great Narcissus Dren. I find that escaping from an ancient trap really gets the heart pumping, provided it doesn't take too long, of course. I couldn't have done it without your relatively minor contribution. Thank you. Indeed, Veloth Tomb. Now we need to locate the hidden passages mentioned in the scroll, and the relics of Saint Veloth will be mine! To write about in my next book, of course. Stick close, apprentice. These tombs can be dangerous to the unwary. I could tell you, but I work on an instinctual level. I know relics of historic value when I see them. Apprentice, you lead the way. I expect that locked door was the worst this tomb has in store for us. It's smooth sailing from here, I'm certain. Ah, yes. The old scroll. It did mention hidden passages. That's what attracted me in the first place. So I'll look for relics in hidden passages, while you keep an eye out for any unexpected dangers. See? We make a great team, apprentice. Saint Veloth? Perhaps. It's more likely he's buried in his shrine in Deshan. This is the family tomb. Did I tell you my mother traces her lineage to this noble line? Whatever we're going to find, it won't happen if we keep standing here. So? And I've chatted with the shade of my great-aunt Ativinia. She was as unpleasant in death as she was in life. Is there a point to regaling me with the story of your minor exploits? Of course it did. Probably had his preserved toe for good measure. I'm not interested in bones. I'm looking for blessed relics sent as gifts to his beloved family. Heirlooms they buried with them in this tomb. Can we get to the exploring now, please? Ooh, this might be Veloth's long sought-after right pauldron. Ooh, remarkable hanging. Early Second Era, perhaps? Ah, the main chamber must be down these stairs. Now this is a burial chamber. We just need to find the entrance to the hidden passages. According to the old scroll, there's a secret entrance that leads to the hidden passages somewhere in this chamber. I don't see any obvious lever or switch. That's too bad. Examine anything that looks unusual. That harp, for instance. That's an odd accoutrement for a burial chamber. I also spot an old tome strategically placed for our reference. Interesting. I need to supervise. You are my apprentice, after all. Now get down there and find the hidden passage. Ah, only the richest, most well-to-do families could afford to hide their true resting places so that no one could disturb or defile them. Imagine. Historical research isn't defilement. It's enriching the knowledge of future generations. My calling is noble and above reproach. It says so in my very first book. Now go find that entrance. I doubt there's anything related to St. Veloth in this chamber. Still, the inscription on that pedestal might reveal something. Do give it a look, apprentice. Perhaps that dusty old tome will suggest suitable offerings. Dust makes me sneeze, so you should take a look. The brazier ignited. That's a good sign. You're a natural. Although I suppose my mentoring has honed your talent. Happy to see the ancestors aren't materializing. I find ghosts to be rather boorish. Oh, well done. Perhaps I should charge for my tutelage. We did it! On to the Undertomb, apprentice! No dawdling, apprentice. There's treasure nearby. I can practically smell it. Isn't it exciting? We're the first living creatures to set foot down here in more than 100 years. This will definitely get an entire chapter in my next book. And that surprises you? Haven't you read my books? This is very similar to that time I unearthed the secret chambers of the Master Thief of Elsewhere. A pity my apprentice on that excursion refused to heed my advice. Walked right into a nasty trap. Going first? That's an honor I wouldn't dream of denying you. And I'll be right behind you, offering advice and watching for opportunities to teach valuable lessons. You won't get this kind of an education at any university or academy. Something along those lines, but he was too eager, running ahead before I could offer him the advantage of my experience. You don't seem to have that quirk. In fact, quite the opposite. It seems like you want to stand here and talk forever. We search. You lead the way, while I watch for the telltale signs of a valuable item of historic significance. Hopefully even a relic of Saint Veloth himself. Ooh, this is the part where our adventure gets really exciting. Oh, that's a skill I developed. Finally honed in the heat of battle, both metaphorical and physical. So lead on, my erstwhile apprentice, and do watch for any guardians or traps that might be waiting in hiding. Nothing important in there.
It's a fight now.
An ornate coffer. I'll take a look while you deal with any other issues that may arise. Keep your eyes peeled for traps, apprentice. Pity that old scroll didn't include some sort of map. You keep bringing up that strange Nord woman. I believe she said she found the scroll at a shop in Sadrith Mora. Once she noticed the ancient Elven, she brought it to me straight away. What? No, of course not. She'll get a thank you in the fine print. But I translated the scroll. I braved the dangers of the tomb. I did all the hard work. With some help from you, which I will gladly acknowledge when I write this thrilling tale. I'm sure you can handle this. Well, that's not something you see every day. Great opportunity for you to impress me, though.
All right, I'll try for Mummy. I'm still here. Thanks for asking.
I believe I see the treasure vault on the other side of this chamber. Away, foul creatures! The bracelet of Indrel Veloth, I'm sure of it!
it!
Ah, damn these trapped spaces and their tempting gaps. I hate to be a bother, but could you get me out of here, please? So good of you to notice. I'm quite proud of my ability to turn any situation into a dramatic scene for my next book. Anyway, I believe you'll find another series of wall plates to push in the chamber to my right. That's a rather ungrateful attitude, after I graciously agreed to take you under my wing. If you don't let me out, however, we won't be able to use the key I found in here. I'm quite certain it opens the way into the next section of the tomb. Almost certainly. The scroll clearly described a final treasure vault, and we haven't come across anything like that yet. So, do a Dark Elf a favor and go push a wall plate. It's the second one from the left. Or is it the right? Ow! Something just shocked me. I found a jeweled glove and a sturdy key. Let's see if it opens the way into the next section of the tomb. Ah, sweet freedom! Onward! You deal with this. I wouldn't want to deny you a chance to demonstrate your impressive combat prowess.
Fetcher!
So many spirits. Why they prefer tombs like this is beyond me.
I think I'm getting good at this. I probably shouldn't have started that.
Tiles set in the floor. I've seen this before. Panels on the walls. Do you see any differences? I suppose the order is important, but a few of the panels have fallen into disrepair. Think of the stone tiles set into the floor as a giant locking mechanism. We just need to determine the proper combination to open the way forward. Of course, there's probably some kind of conundrum built in. Of course! But no two puzzles are ever exactly the same. The scroll described a proper path to ancient honors. Or was it to honor the ancients? No matter. Close enough. We just need to determine the correct order in which to walk the stone tiles. That's where the conundrum comes in. Check the panels on the wall and see if they provide any insight. I'll supervise and run through the huge catalog of adventure obstacles and how to counteract them. I memorized it for just such situations. That's it. Just step in the proper order and the way will be opened. Did you see that flash of gold? A blessing from St. Veloth for sure. Come to Narcissus, you beautiful golden head, you! And look, another passage opens. That will lead to the treasure vault most assuredly. I'm just guessing, mind you, but I dare say that skull belonged to a son or grandson of St. Veloth. What a spectacular discovery! Nonsense! Did you see it? Emeralds for eyes, covered in gold! It's better than anything in my collection. Don't let odd sounds disturb you. I learned long ago to just hum the tune to the Red Mountain drinking song and keep moving forward. There are no people like us. We solved the puzzle and uncovered the secret. You did all the work, of course, but I had it figured out the moment we entered the chamber. I was ready to help if you needed it. Now, let's see what's waiting inside. To the ancient crypt! My next book is going to be a trilogy for sure! Well, this isn't at all what I expected. This place is ancient. These must be Veloth's earliest ancestors. I'll perform a thorough historical examination while you deal with any inconveniences that happen our way. I expected your technique to be a little more graceful than that. Look at this. Preserved bodies, not cremated ashes. A technique that predates the earliest Dark Elves. Oh dear, I don't like the look of this. I'm sure you can manage. Ancients! This is disappointing. Where's all the treasure? Narcissus Dren never fails like this. I blame you, apprentice. My translation was nearly perfect, so how could this be? Where are the relics? The treasure? There's nothing here but some busted old crates and a decrepit old well. No, that's impossible. Ancient scrolls lead to discovery and treasure, not disappointment. I blame you, apprentice. You obviously don't have the attitude and temperament necessary to make great discoveries. You've ruined my expedition. Isn't that a noble sentiment? But noble sentiments don't pay the bills or sell my books. You wouldn't understand. You have no sense of what it takes to do what Narcissus Dren does. You're nothing more than an apprentice. Of course! Narcissus Dren and the Well of Gold! One of my earliest adventures. Why didn't I think of that? I take back everything I said. You are a good apprentice. Now, let's see what they hid away in that old well. I think you're right, apprentice. There's no water down there, and I definitely see a gleam of gold. Hey! I assume that was a mistake on your part. I reiterate my earlier observation. You're a terrible apprentice. Hello? Is anyone there? A little help, please?
Borfrey, now is not the time to take a break. Narcissus will be out soon, I'm sure. It's good to see you again. Finished exploring the tomb. But where's Narcissus? I do miss that dark elf terribly, you know. That sounds like my Narcissus. Always wanting to explore just one more nook and cranny. I assume he'll be along shortly for one of my shoulder rubs. Allow me to pay you for your service. It is the standard rate for Narcissus' apprentices. Narcissus still has not returned from the tomb. I don't suppose you'd... No, probably not. I'll wait for a few more moments, and then send Borfrey in to look for him. I'm sure all is well, but I can't help this feeling that something went wrong.
Betrayed! They are upon us! I'm losing blood. Someone help us!
betrayed! They are upon us!
measured in loyalty. Faithful, heed my call!
use some help!